Hello. Can you show your video briefly? I will know your faces. We might bump each other in the Robmag or in PUP. Say hello. Nakita nga ang video niyo. I'm Sir Ven. Call me Sir Ven. VEN. Kung Bisaya ka, Sir Ben. Okay? Okay lang. Bisaya. Bisaya din ako. Who cares? We are in a country of 120 ethno-linguistic groups. Who cares whether your accent is different? We're in a world of diversity, di ba? Oh, we sociologists are always flexible people. There is cultural diversity. Respect diversity, right? Even gender, we have gender diversity. Let them be, di ba? Whatever you are, silahis, whether you're asexual, transgender, as pansexual, di ba? Let them be, they're all human beings. I've been writing books on LGBTQI, okay? So I always advocate equality of gender because gender is socially learned. It is not biological. Your sex is biological, but your sexual orientation, sexual attraction, gender expression, and identity are socially learned. Okay, you get it from the environment. Okay, so there's diversity. There's a rainbow. Everything has different colors. So it makes a world colorful. Okay, but the homophobic, homophobic persons do not want that. They always want heterosexual. So that's the problem. There is this homophobia, transphobia. There's this phobia, no, which makes it. This is really the enemy of inclusivity, right? So let's celebrate diversity, cultural diversity. Kahit anong Bisaya ka, Tagalog ka, di ba? Maranao ka, Tausug, okay, welcome, di ba? Let's do this. Kasi pag sabihin mo, uy, Tagalog ako, Tagalog dapat ka. Even your accent dapat Tagalog ha. Hindi. You're a selfish person. Ethnocentric. Your culture is the best culture. Culture is relative, right? It is learned. And so you judge the person's culture according to his or her culture. Mhm. So kung Bisaya siya, accent niya ay Bisaya talaga, wala siyang problema, wala siyang mali kung magkamali man siya mag-pronounce. Ang nagkakaproblema, yung iba na o Tagalog, iba yung accent nila, and they use their criteria in judging people. Uy, pagtatawanan, gawin po pang mga sambahay dyan sa mga television shows, pagtatawanan, para lang magkaroon ng maraming views. O, di ba? At the expense of the Visayans, kawawa naman. Hindi naman nila kasalanan magkaroon ng accent na gano'n, di ba? O, di ba? Will you be judged to a standard that is not your cultural standard, di ba? O, di ba? O, bakit ka sisihin? Hindi yan kinalakihan mo. Parang ganun yun, yung mga bakla, sinisisi, bakit sila bakla? Hindi naman nila pinanganak na bakla. Oo. Ang lipunan, ang gumawa ng kabalastugan na may fear of bakla. Di ba? Ang lipunan. Hindi yung tao. Kasi yung tao, kinalakihan niya, yung lipunan niya, kung sino, whoever you encounter when you grow up, when you form your gender identity, no, will affect you. Hindi ka na maging bakla kung wala kang some kind of cultural factors that make you bakla. It can be in the family. Napansin niyo ang bakla ay malapit sa kanilang mga ina. No? Have you noticed that? Diba si ganda, close sa kanyang nanay? Kasi posible naman isang theory na it's the masculinity of the mother that enters the child rather than the masculinity of the father. Either the father is absentee, or even the father is also effeminate. So it's the dominant personality of the mother that enters to the child. So we have feminine masculinity of the child. That's one theory in psychological theory. Kaya nagiging bakla siya. So, malapit siya sa nanay. Parang ganun, di ba? There are many theories. What I mean is, gender is socially and culturally learned, but sex is biological, determined by your birth, and they may not be always correspond each other. Okay? Pwede yung iba yung gender mo sa sex or sex organ mo since birth. Kaya magkaroon ng transgender, etc. Okay? And so also gender is fast changing. Siguro ang panahon ng earlier period, mabagal ang takbo ng mundo. Kaya yung transgenderism, yung transgender diversity, mabagal din. Pero nung dumating ang contemporary world today, where everything is like water, everything is changing, moving, evolving, has also gender fluidity has evolved very fast. And so you will probably notice there is an increase of growing population of LGBTQIA+. Diba? Oo. Baka na-welcome natin. Para pareho lang sa heterosexual ang LGBT, di ba? Magkakapareho na ang population. Ganun. Kasi parang tubig ngayon. Our society is like water. It's fluidity. Liquidity is the metaphor to describe our world today. That's what we are studying. Liquidity. Everything is liquid. It is evolving, transforming. Goods and services flow around the world. Diba? With the advancement of technology, transportation technology, ang bilis ng takbo. And you have a lot of online transactions now, online interaction because of the invention of the internet. Noong panahon ng bago na-invent ng internet, ang bagal ng mundo. Face-to-face classes. Ngayon, online, digital. Napansin nyo? And you know that I've shared with you with the invention of World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee, di ba? Na-invento yan, dati-rati, before the internet was invented late 1980s, di ba? Physical lang yun. Face-to-face interaction, di ba? Physical transaction, physical dating, physical classes. Di ba lahat yan ay physical? Noong na-invento ang internet, digital technology, ICT, no? In the late 1990s, early 1990s, late 1980s pala, 1990, na-invento yan. Ngayon, ang reality has split into two. The cyberspace, virtual space, and the old physical space. Ipansin nyo, dalawa ang mundo. And you notice, yung mga nasa physical space, pumupunta ngayon, nag-migrate sa cyberspace ng internet. Di ba? Mag-apply ka ng trabaho, online. Bumili ka ng goods, Shopee, online. Magtinda ka, online store. Makipag-date ka, online dating. Di ba? Even the physical sex, may virtual sex. Di ba? Lahat nasa online na. That's the world we're living. Online, digital. Ngayon, pag-iwanan ngayon yung physical world. See, everybody has a cell phone. The cell phone now has the internet because it has nanotechnology. Ang nanotechnology is superior than digital. Ang nanotechnology miniaturizes everything with powerful space and computing. Ang nanotechnology. Nano means small, di ba? Kaya na-invento ang nanotechnology, meron na tayong cellphone, smartphone na may internet. Meron na yung tablet, di ba? Lahat yan ay nano-powered technology, no, yung gadgets ninyo. So, ang nangyari, based on research, everybody will have a cell phone in the next 5 years. So, lahat na tayo may cellphone with the internet. So, that means you can easily access the cyberspace using your cell phone. The world is in your pocket, in your cell phone. Diba? Dala-dala mo cellphone, pero dala-dala mo mundo. Gumamit ka ng internet, connected ka globally. Diba? Kahit saan ka pumunta, connected sa internet, diba? Oh, online classes tayo. You don't need to go to PUP. Punta ka lang sa app natin, sa link, nandoon ka na. And here we are, right? We are not in a physical space. We are in the virtual space. We are now in digital education, not the old physical education, na face-to-face. Do you agree? More convenient. You don't need to, di ba, hindi ka naman mamasahe. Hindi mo bumili pagkain sa PUP. Gagastos ka ng marami. Magkano lang, i-compare mo sa load. Mura lang yun, di ba? Hindi ka pa inconvenient. Hindi ka pa matraffic. Di ba? Hindi pa mausok. O, at the comfort of your place or home, pwede ka na mag-attend ng classes. O, di ba? Mas maganda. And the world is moving towards digital AI education. Dumaan na yung modern society. Ang modern kasi, face-to-face pa yun. Wala pang digital technology. So, kailan ba na-invento? So, ibig sabihin, ng 1980s pababa, wala na yung internet. O, di wala ng cyberspace, face-to-face na yan. Di ba? O, so you have to walk, you have to go by distance, you have to travel to go to do research. Very inconvenient yan, di ba? You don't go to the library, you go to Ateneo, do research. Pero kapag may online, go to worldcat.org. World Catalog. All the universities are hooked with that World Catalog. So if you want to borrow books, you go to WorldCat, and the WorldCat will type the name of the book or the author. Or like myself, you go to worldcat.org. Di meron doon search. Type mo, Benzo Baliano. Click mo, nandun yung mga libro ko. And then when you click specific book, sasabihin sa inyo what library you can find this book. So if you do research, hindi ka na pumunta. You don't need to travel. Kung may access ka doon sa library, no, o sa Ateneo, o di pinaka-nearest Ateneo, alam mo, ilalagay doon, how many kilometers? Ateneo, punta ka doon. Itong may access ka sa Ateneo Library, sa Rizal Library, you can access my book without going there. Ganun ang wonders because of digital technology. Ayan. Diba? To this time. Diba sabihin, nasa ang librong ito, makikita mo sa University of Hong Kong. Di ibig sabihin, magta-travel ka pa to access the book for your research. Hindi na. Because of the invention of the internet. Okay, ganon yun ang mas convenient nga eh. Okay? If you have some question, raise your hand, you have comments. We are a democratic country here. Don't be ashamed to ask questions, okay? Or interrupt me if you have some comments, okay? Have some observation, okay, of our topic, okay? Nung panahon ng pandemic, ako kasi isa sa mga advocate ng digital education eh. I'm a sociologist, no? Hindi ako traditional na tao, yung mga conventional na type, no? We are social scientists. We judge based on facts. So we are moving towards digital education actually, or artificial intelligence na nga eh. Pupunta na tayo dyan. So that's where we are moving. And the universities abroad are offering courses using online classes, etc. Papunta na nga doon. And then the pandemic hit, di ba? Dumating ang pandemic, merong social distancing, may lockdown, so bawal na mag-face-to-face classes, physical classes. So ang nangyari, teachers are forced to shift to digital education. gagawin nila? They have to learn the tools, digital tools. Because your teachers, administrators are digital migrants. They were not born during the invention of the internet and digital technology. Di nyo napansin? Kayo ay digital natives. Pinanganak kayo after 1980s, late 1980s. Di pinanganak ko, 1990s na. Sino din pinanganak ng 1980s? Wala, di ba? Kailan kayo pinanganak? 1990s? Ikaw,
Mga
Carl?
2000s po, around that age po. Mga
Ako
2000s.
19... Oo, di ba? Ako 1960s, kaya mag-retire na ako. Di ba? Pero ang isip ko, hindi ganun. hindi modern, may paka-most modern namin because we are sociologists, di ba? That's why I'm advocating digital education. Kasi that's where the world is moving. Ngayon, pagdating ng pandemic, yung mga matatandang teachers, siyempre, digital migrants. Hindi pinanganak with the digital technology. Estudyante, digital natives. So you are more conversant to digital tools, digital education. Masanay kayo, di ba? Ang teacher, digital migrants, hindi alam, they have to learn. Di ba? They have to migrate to digital technology. Kaya nangangapa ang teacher panahon ng pandemic kasi gagamit ka ng mga iba-ibang sites, etc., tools, di ba? Para sa online classes mo, etc. Nangangapa Based on research, lumalabas talaga nangangapa And so, but they learn. Yung mga matatanda, they learn how to navigate with the cyberspace, etc., di ba? It's a learning experience, yung pandemic. It's blessing in disguise. Pagkatapos ng pandemic, ano nangyari? It started to go back to physical. It can be a starting point na sana na to enhance digital competence of the teachers, to catch up with the students who are digital migrants, di ba? It's an opportunity sana. More seminars, more training for the teachers to enhance classroom, virtual classroom, etc. Teaching. Hindi. Gustong bumalik agad sa physical classes. Bakit? Karamihan ng mga administrators at teachers ay digital migrants. They are at home with physical face-to-face classes. So, ang nangyari, gusto niya bumalik agad. Sabi ko, bakit naman dapat? That's an opportunity to pero nagagamit Pag may disaster, may problema, they shifted to digital online classes, di ba? Di nakakatulong din pala. Di ba? You don't need to build millions of buildings, di ba? Virtual classrooms, cheaper, di ba? More convenient for the students. That's what I'm advocating. Digital education dapat. And ongoing training for the teachers. Lalo na ngayon AI, artificial intelligence, Gen AI. Tingnan mo. Merong tinutulungan na gumagawa ng thesis dyan. Kaya nakapag-research tuloy ako dito. Sa Gen AI, ang mga estudyante alam na alam gumamit ng chatbots, di ba? Gumagamit ng chat GPT. Di ba? Gumagamit kayo niyan, di ba? Pag may mga assignment, ang galing gumawa Ang teacher ay behind kasi migrant nangangapa Hindi alam ng teacher kung anong ginagawa ng estudyante sa Gen AI sa kanilang requirements. No? Hindi na alam, hindi kabisado Kaya paminsan nakakalusot ang estudyante gumamit ng AI sa mga requirements. Hindi alam ng teacher how to check. Nangyari? Yung dishonesty, nakalusot Kasi ang teacher nga behind migrant. Ang estudyante, natives di ba? Napansin nyo? Tawang-tawa yung iba, kalusta ako, uno ako. Ang paper ko. Kaya ngayon, ang daming mga laudes. Mga cum laude, magna cum laude. Half of the graduating class today, this recent years, ay may cum laude, may laude. Panahon ko, ang hirap na hirap makakuha ng cum laude. Ngayon, UP, Ateneo, even PUP, ang daming cum laude, half of the graduating class, or more than half, may laude. Wow. Do you think the students are more intelligent compared to the previous generation? Kasi more than half ay may laude eh. Or do you think it's the AI or it's the digital tools that enhance your your academic performance? Ano sa tingin niyo? Mas tumatalino ba estudyante ngayon kaya maraming cum laude compared to the past? Nakokonti lang? Or dahil nagagamit nila yung mga Gen AI tools na hindi rin ng kabisado ng teacher pa how to handle that, kaya tumataas ang grado. As tingin nyo? Ha? Theory ko lang yan, pero sana may magre-research dyan. Ilan kaya ang nakakalusot na gumamit ng AI, hindi alam ng teacher, dahil nga digitally incompetent, hindi rin alam. Eh di nakalusot, mataas ang grade. Eh di cum laude, o magna cum laude, pag nag-graduate. So ibig sabihin, hindi nga mas tumatalino ang mga estudyante ngayon compared to my generation, na ilan lang ang cum laude. Di ba? Alam niyo, epekto niyan, maraming cum laude. Wala nang prestige, magkaroon ka ng cum laude o magna cum laude man lang. Kasi halos lahat mag-a-apply na trabaho, cum laude from PUP to summa cum laude. Nawawala tuloy yung distinction, diba? Prestige. Wow. Si Kenshin, ay cum laude to. Magaling na batang to. Tanggapin natin agad to. O si Gabriel, ay summa cum laude to. Tapos tingnan natin, ang dami din pala summa cum laude kasama ni Gabriel dito. Diba? So parang nawala tuloy yung mo na, sikat ka na sana eh. Wow. Number 1. Para kasi si Jose Rizal. Alam mo si Jose Rizal? Iba si Jose Rizal, summa cum laude. Ang kanyang grade ay excellent, ang average. Si Jose Rizal, sikat tayo. Ateneo, Jose Rizal. Rizal Library. Di sikat to si Rizal, national hero pa eh. Kasama si Jose Rizal sa mga sikat na summa cum laude ng Ateneo. Jose Rizal. Claro M. Recto. Summa cum laude yan ng Ateneo. O si Cardinal Tagle. Cardinal Tagle, summa cum laude o Ateneo. Di ba? Kaya si Jose Rizal, kung tutuusin mo, do research. Ilan sila sa klase na mayroong excellent ang grade, ang average? Nang sabihin mo, ay, katangi-tangi si Jose Rizal, tingnan mo sa Ateneo, summa cum laude. Ang tanong, ilan ba sila sa classroom na may ganong grade? Sino nag-aral ang Rizal dito? Ilan sila na mayroong sobra saliente or excellent grade ang average? Kaya masabi mo, napakatalino ni Rizal. Pero tingnan mo grade niya sa UST, sa medicine, average lang, di ba? Karamihan good, di ba? Very good. Pero bihira lang ang excellent. Ibig sabihin, excellent si Rizal, summa cum laude sa Ateneo, dahil ilan sila sa isang klase? There are only 12 students. And all of them got excellent grades as average. Ibig sabihin, 12 sila. Si Rizal, isa lang doon. Lahat sila may sobra saliente. Excellent grade. Ngayon, ang tanong, what's the deal? Bakit si Rizal sabihin mo napakatalino? 12 lang naman sila eh. At sila lahat naman ay may excellent grade. Summa cum laude sa PUP, pero kalahati naman, more than half of the graduating class is summa cum laude. So what's the big deal? Di ba parang ganun? Okay? So isipin nyo come to think about it. Do you think you are more intelligent now because you have many summa cum laude? Cum laude, di ba? Or is it because the technology that makes people getting cum laudes? This is the technology and the ignorance of the teacher on how to deal with AI tools. Di ba? Kaya kayo dito sa klase ko, huwag kayong gumamit ng AI. Huwag kayong gumamit ng AI. Utang na loob, huwag niyo akong bigyan ng extra work. Kasi wala akong time na mag-check yan. Pero alam ko, dito sa klase natin, meron akong rubrics para alam ko kung nakinig kayo, nag-take down notes, kasi hindi i-record to ha. Sino ba itong class rep natin? Don't record this ha, kasi I have the copyright issues, I have the copyright.
Okay.
So, wag nyo. Mag-take down notes kayo. What's this? Tomorrow? Okay, thank you. Okay, so ito. Sana ba ko? My son just arrived sa grade 10 student. Okay. So, ano ito? Nawala tuloy ako. Sana ba ako? Kalimutan na yung sinasabi. Senior moments na eh. O nga no, senior moments. Di wag kayong mag-AI pala, di ba? Wag kayong mag-AI. And as my mechanism to check that, we follow rubrics in writing your papers. First, 60% of your paper content should be based on our online discussion and readings of materials in our GC. 60%. So kung binasa ko yung paper ninyo, makikita ko na binatay mo yan sa lecture natin or sa readings of materials GC. Not outside, ha? Kaya halimbawa, midterm, you are going to write a synthesis paper from the lectures online. Okay? So, kung basahin ko yun, nabanggit ko nga ito sa klase. Ibig sabihin, nag-integrate ka. Nagsusulat ka ng notes para alam mo yung mga highlights doon sa mga online classes natin dito. At gagawa ka ng synthesis at reflection. Ayan. 60%. Pero pag basahin ko, wala dyan, gumamit ka ibang material, ibig sabihin, nag-absent ka, hindi ka nag-take down notes, gumamit ka ng materials, iba, wala yung 60% mo. Kaya wag kang mag-complain. Sigurado yan. It's a mechanism to check kung nagbasa ka, nakikinig ka. 30% is creativity. So that means on how you synthesize the materials, how you make your reflection, will be 30% of the grade of the paper. What all kinds of paper here? 60, 30, and 10% is good grammar and composition. Lord take down the rubrics. Kasi objective din yun Kahit essay yan, mayroong ding hinahanap ang teacher dyan sa paper ninyo. Kasi nga, wala tayong objective exam dito. Hindi tayong parang elementary dito. Paper lang. Pero yung paper should reflect what we are discussing here in the readings also. Ayun. So, hindi mo makukuha sa AI yan. Of course, yung aking mga readings, may mga AI yan sa academia. Merong AI version yan, summary. Okay lang. Pero, sa inyo mismo yung creativity, no? Synthesis, sa inyo galing. Okay. So, 60, 30, and 10. Tandaan nyo yan ang criteria grading all your papers here. Puro papers ang requirements dito. Walang objective. No? Elementary naman masyado. Insulto naman sa inyo yan, na makatalino ninyo, nasa college na kayo. Di ba? True or false ba? True or false. Multiple choice. Di ba? Naman, na higher thinking skills naman, nasa college na kayo Yan ang problema sa educational system natin, no? Tinuturo sa DepEd, puro memorization, mga ganyan. Hindi na-develop yung higher thinking skills ng estudyante. Hindi pinagawa ng research, hindi pinagawa ng paper. Meron man, nag-AI naman, wala namang competence ang teacher din to check. Di nakalusot, mataas ang grade, pero hindi nag-improve yung learning. Okay? Okay na yon? Okay, so, ano ang mga requirements? So, first, we have, kuhan tayo online. Maliban, pilitin nila ako. Okay. Hindi kaya ng physical ko talaga kung tutuusin. 9 sections. Meron akong sakit sa puso, sakit sa high blood, may sakit sa diabetes. Papatayin niyo ako maaga. Di ba? So, Ang gawin natin, alternate. Synchronous, asynchronous, synchronous, alternate. Okay? So kung may meeting tayo ngayon, next meeting, paper. Okay? Ang gagawin nyo ay kumuha ka ng any of the papers or material online sa GC natin, no? Na bago pinopost ko. You're going to write a synthesis paper. Okay? Yan ang gagawin yung asynchronous. Okay? Ito, synchronous, magre-reflect yan sa midterm yung paper eh. Synthesis paper ng midterms, tsaka final term din. Okay? Kaya mahalaga ito na magno-notes ka eh. Kasi gagawa kayo ng siguro 2 pages na synthesis paper with short reflection, no? Of what you have learned during the term, midterm, sa online discussion. So, kailangan yung mag-notes. Okay? So, synthesis paper during asynchronous, so every other week, okay. 1 page, double space. Times New Roman or Arial, font 12. Sulat mo, Lord, para hindi na tayo uulit. Pa naman, ayaw ko nang uulitin. Kasi pag inuulit, waste of time, di ba? Stay focused. You can never be successful in life if you don't stay focused. Kung ano yung passion mo, yun ang i-develop mo. And you develop it every day. You ask those successful people, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and all this, they will say, stay focused on your passion. Where your work is no longer work, but play. Kasi you enjoy what you're doing eh. Di ba? Stay focused. Yung ba si Yolo, nagkaroon ng gold medal, walang pinaghirapan, pinagdaanan yan. Na nakafocus talaga to get a gold medal. Nakita mo lang si Yolo, meron ng medal eh. Hindi nyo nakita araw-araw niyang pag-practice para magkaroon ng gold medal. Araw-araw. Know the routine of, dito, pangalan ni Yolo? Know his routine. Ilang oras ba siya nagpa-practice? Ang pagod, ang hirap, pinagdaanan niya. Ang nakikita nyo kasi yung finished product, gold medal na eh. Hindi nyo tinitingnan yung paghihirap. Tulad lang libro ko, sabihin mo, nakapublish si Sir Ben na ganyan, which is not the usual thing for scholar in the Philippines, di ba? Pero alam nyo bang pinaghirapan ko rin, pinagdaanan? To write 1 book, how many revisions do I have? How many hours I spent? Beyond my teaching hours? How I protect my sacred time of writing? Na kung may conflict, I would say no. No, this is my time for writing. If there are opportunities would come, I say no. Because I'm saying yes to my vision, to my goal in life. Di ba? You don't always say no to everything, to all opportunities. Say no if you're aiming for a higher goal in life. Si Sylvester Stallone. Di ba? Si Sylvester Stallone ay hindi yan, alam mo yung pinagmula ni Sylvester Stallone? Di ba? Meron siyang script. Di ba? Rambo yata, no? Rambo ba yun? O Rocky? Inoferan siya ng producer, bibilhin. Di ba? Bibilhin yung kanyang screenplay. Di ba? Kasi, maka $300,000 yata eh. Bibilhin. Ayaw niya. Sabi niya, hindi. Gusto ko ako mismo ang lead actor ng script na sinulat niya. Ikaw opera na $300,000 sa script mo lang. Siyempre, sabihin mo, sige, ang laki-laki na pera, $300,000. Pero sabi niya, hindi. He said no. Because he has a higher goal, which is to become an actor of the script he is writing. Alam niya, sisikat siya. This mas malaki pang kikitain niya. Di ba? So he said no. And then here's another producer who say, okay, we'll give you less, but you will be the lead actor. Di pumayag siya. The rest is history, di ba? Di sumikat siya, di ba? Di mas malaki kinikita niya. And he has been writing script, tapos siya din ang lead actor. Mas malaki pa kinita niya. Kung tinanggap niya yung $300,000 na per script, ano kayang mangyari sa kanya? Wala, di ba? Hanggang doon lang. So you say no to other opportunities because you have a higher goal in life. Okay? So, pinaghirapan yan. So si Mr. Yolo, kung nagiging gold medalist siya, titingnan mo yung mga opportunities na sinabi. Hindi, kasi magpa-practice ako eh. Hindi ako pupunta dyan sa party kasi magpa-practice ako eh. Yung time ko mag-practice eh. Di ba? You have to protect the sacred time where you are developing your skill or your talent. Tandaan nyo yan. So ano ba, saan ka ba magaling? Pagluluto? O di start experimenting, learning the different, di ba? Sa online, pwede mo, and then you become the expert. Whatever you are good at. Isipin nyo. Bata pa kayo. You start developing your talent every day. Tingnan mo. So when you reach after 5 or 10 years of basic, you will be somebody. You can have your blog with certain topic that you're expert at. Di ba? Ganun yan. Well, anyway. So, yun ang ano natin, no? So, saan ba tayo? So, yun yung mga papers na sasabit niyo sa akin. So, synthesis papers every other week. And then you have the midterm paper, which is a summary of our online lecture. No? And then your final paper, also a synthesis of the final term of the topics online we discuss. Ano yung, sir, sabihin nyo, ano yung synthesis paper? 1 page, font 12, Times New Roman, double space. Double space yun, ha? Ibig sabihin, maiksi lang, pero malaman. Less is more in writing. Less is more. Dami mo sinasabi, isa lang naman. Can you write it in 1 sentence? Di ba? Di ba sa libro, merong description, synopsis. Tulad sa mga libro ko, I'm asked by the publisher, you write in 200 to 300 words. What is the book all about? What makes this book different, unique? You put it in 200 to 400, 300 words. Ganun lang yan. So in your paper, 1 page nga yan, pero direct to the point. What's the article is talking about? What is the main what topic that strikes you? 1 or 2. Summarize it, half a page. So, pumili ka ng title sa synthesis paper mo. Bahala ka na. It reflects the title, Okay. Content. O title mo. Okay. First paper. Ilagay nyo anong paper you are summarizing and reacting. Doon sa GC, di ba? May title naman yun. Who is the author? Para alam ko ano yung paper na sinisynthesize ninyo. Okay? Lorda, lagay pangalan pero merong nakalagay sa baba, ano yung article and who is the author of the article or material, pwede rin video. You are reacting. Okay? So, 2 parts yun. Synthesis. So you synthesize, summarize 1 or 2 topics that strike you. Then the second part, reflection. Dalawang parts yung paper mo. Okay? Synthesis. Then reflection. Klaro? Sa synthesis paper yan, No more, no less, 1 page. Yung iba diyan nagsushortcut eh. Half a page, 3/4 of a page, 1 page ang hinihingi ko. Tapos ang ginagawa pa, kung double space, gagawin pang 2 spaces eh. Parang akala mo, para sabihin na sumunod pero hindi sumunod. Bahala kayo dyan at your own risk. Kasi pag nabasa ko yan, siyempre mas better yung whole page kesa 3/4 or 1/2 of a page. Diba? Better expression yun. Okay. Midterm, which is a summary of our online classes, so you have to summarize, synthesize the first part, and the second part is also a reflection, application. Ganun lang din yun. Okay, so maybe you can choose maybe 3 or 4 topics that strike you, no? And then the second part is reflection. It's longer, mga probably 2 pages. 2 pages, double space, 2 pages. 2 pages. Okay lang yung 2 pages, no? Ang midterm at Ang finals, parang ganun din yata. Or maybe 3 pages. Double space naman. Okay? Ganun. The same, 2 parts lagi. Summary, reflection. Okay. Any question regarding the requirements? Remember, you're still following the 70-30, ha? 70% class standing. Your class standing consists of your attendance, merit points, recitation points, di ba? Synthesis papers, which will be your quizzes. So, 70% lahat yan. Okay, and then your midterm and final paper, 30%. Eh di 100%. Di ba tama? Oh, okay, no problem. Ako, simple lang ako mag-grade. Ayoko ng maraming itcheboretse. I compute your grade. Kasi ang grade ko sa inyo, 1 point agad, 1.25. Ganun i-grade ko sa inyo lahat ng paper ninyo. Makikita mo yung ano, di ba? Yung, ayaw ko ng mga itcheboretse. Daming components na may compute. Pareho lang din naman. You rank your student the highest to the lowest, di ba? Why complicate things, di ba? If you make grade. Oh, edi ganun. So, grade ninyo. You get the mode of all the grades. Mode yung common na lumalabas, di ba? 125 yan. 1.0, 125, 1.25, 1.25. Eh di, average mo 1.25 using mode. Di ba? Oh, hindi ka na mag-compute pa. Mabilis. Di ba? So, Lord, kapag you are going to make Excel class record, open class record for the class. Hello, Lord, are you there? Wala yata
Yes
si
po.
Lord. O ha?
Nandito.
Gagawa ka ng Excel ha? Sabi ko, pangalan, alphabetical,
Pangalan po,
tapos
yung attendance.
tapos attendance, okay? Attendance, ilagay mo lang date. Huwag mo siya I want to see one screen lang sa class
Oo.
record. Liitan mo para magkasya, para yung sa dulo, final grade. Yung sa kabila, left side is the name. Okay? Kasi when I compute that, in code, makita ko na agad. Pangalan mo, ano grade mo? In code agad si SIS, di mabilis. Di ba? Makita ko na rin pattern ng grade mo sa attendance mo, ilan ang absences. Ilagay mo, Lord, ilan ang absences niya. Okay, mahalaga yung online attendance ninyo because class standing is part 70% kung hindi ka nag-participate, you are always absent online, you miss a lot of insights discussion here, di ba? That will affect your participation, class standing. Kaya dapat, if you're aiming for high grades, dapat complete ang attendance mo sa online classes. Okay? Kapag may absent ka, meron kang ibig sabihin na miss ka ng isang session. So that will affect your hindi ka pwedeng mag 1.0 kapag may absences ka sa online, di ba? Dapat perfect ka. Kung meron man 1.5, okay. Super galing ang papers mo. 125 pwede. May absent ka. Kitang-kita ko naman yan dun sa class record Yung iba nga, ang daming absences nito talagang nangangapa ng materials to galing sa internet kasi hindi niya alam anong na-discuss Okay? So, one screen lang pangalan, attendance, merit points, recitation, synthesis paper 1, 2, 3, tapos midterm paper, final paper, tapos dalawang column, Lord yung isa, synthesis paper 1, SP1. Okay, alam na natin, SP1, synthesis paper 1. Isang column. Nag-submit on time, check. Okay? Na late, within hours, L. Okay, late. Nag-late, tardiness for days or at least 2 days. Super late, SL. Ilagay mo, Lord, doon sa submission ng paper, okay? Second column is the grades that I will make for your paper, okay? So SP1, check, late, SL. Second page, my grade for the paper. Synthesis paper 2, ganun. Okay? Pero isang screen lang yan, Excuse me, may sore throat din ako.
Yes po, sir. Noted.
Oo. Tapos, ma-edit ko yung Excel, ha? Huwag mong hindi ko ma-edit. Magalaw ko, ha? Kasi sasubmit mo yan sa isang Google Drive link. Ang paper sila, lahat sila meron silang folder. Doon mo ilalagay, Lord, yung kanilang mga paper in order. SP1, synthesis paper 1, starting next week, no? So, pag lahat sila may folder, pero naka-orderly, in order sila, ha? So, synthesis paper 1, 2, 3, midterm paper, final paper. Okay? Yan ang gagawin mo. Kasi by experience, paminsan, hinahalo-halo eh. Hirapan naman ako pag nagbasa ako, mag-grade agad. Gusto ko systematic. Pag tuloy-tuloy ako magbasa at mag-grade at mag-encode. Okay? Just trust me that I'm reading your paper objectively. My only problem, you don't expect me to return immediately your paper. Okay? But trust me, I'm reading that. Once I read that, I immediately give you grade. Okay? Kalbaryo sa akin pag panahon na ng grading. Kasi babasahin ko lahat ng paper ninyo and then encode the grade. Okay? So hindi ako nanghuhula ng grade. Kaya pag mababa paper mo, there's something yung with your rubrics. Yung 60%, 30, and 10, ha? May mga ganong few students lang naman nagko-complain. No? Imagine 1.5 nagko-complain pa. Tapos hindi naman super galing ang mga papers. Minsan may absent pa, di ba? Tapos kung marami kang absences, don't expect to have a grade higher than 1.5 or 175, di ba? Don't expect that. Kasi class standing nga 70% eh. Okay? So kung you're aiming for 1.0, 125, kung pwede, wala kang absent. Okay? Participate well and submit your papers on time. Okay? Now, may isa pa dito. In case you want to change your paper, you can resubmit your paper anytime without changing the submission date in the Excel. Okay? Kung sa tingin mo, pangit yung synthesis paper 2 ko kulang ng 60%, 30%, okay? Revise it. Tapos i-resubmit mo kay Lord. Pero yung submission date mo, kung na-late ka, late pa rin yun. Okay? Pero maghanda ka na kasi pag malapit ka ng basahin lahat yan, no? Alam mo na tagilid ka sa unang paper. Ang importante lang na on time ka eh. Kasi i-record ni Lord kung kailan ka nag-submit eh. No? Pero kung sa tingin mo ay kulang ng revision yung paper mo, tagilid ka sa akin magbasahin yan, okay, resubmit. Okay, resubmit. Pero without changing the actual date of submission. Okay? Imagine ganun ako ka-generous, no? Kabait. Sige. Summa cum laude kayo lahat. Imagine, summa cum laude. Pero lahat kayo summa cum laude. What makes you different from the rest? Lahat kayo summa cum laude. So anyway, so aim for quality of learning, not just for the title. Huwag na puro forma. Okay? Aim for the quality that you are learning. When in your own, you can be proud about yourself, di ba? Hindi yung summa cum laude ka nga, pero in actual life, mahina naman diskarte mo. Diskarte lang naman talaga eh. Ang importante sa buhay, madiskarte ka. Ayan yung babae, gustong-gusto naman lalaki na madiskarte. Even the LGBT, di ba? Gusto mo partner, hindi madiskarte. Gusto mo madiskarte sa buhay. No? Kahit mahirap ka, pag madiskarte ka, you will become successful. Lahat ng mga mayayaman billionaire nag-start most of them come from humble beginnings. But they are persistent, focused in life. No? Kaya sila nagiging multi-billionaire. Okay? Okay? Any question regarding the class requirements? The grading system? Wala? Di ba? And then you will be ranked highest to the lowest, of all the components. And then I will group you. Itong mga grupong to, yung mga uno, magagaling talaga to. And itong next group, 125. Third group, 1.5. Itong mga delinquent, sige, lagyan na lang natin 2.5, 2. Ayan, ganun lang ako mag-grade, okay? Ibig sabihin, marami kang absences, marami kang late, hindi ka nagsasabit ng paper on time, pangit yung paper mo, hindi ka sumusunod, expect lower than 1.5. Pero kapag sumunod ka naman, maganda, mas mataas sa grade mo. You belong to the elite na 1.0, elite group or 1.25. Yes, Maria, Teresa.
Hi, sir. May question lang po ako sa paper. Yung alignment po ba nung paper is justified po o naka-left po siya?
Oo, justified. Para madali
Tapos
sa
po,
tayo.
yung margin po is normal lang po, di ba?
Yeah, one inch.
Sa
Around.
file type naman po, PDF po siya isasubmit.
PDF hindi ma-change. Alam mo, wag ko yung gumamit ng file yan sa online ba yon na hindi ko mabuksan. Hindi nabubuksan. Oo. O pag ganyan, lowest grade bibigay ko sa iyo kasi sayang oras eh. Time is important. So I need to go to the internet and find the ano ba yung tawag yan? Na mabuksan ko. Ay wala. Lowest grade bibigay ko. Kung lowest ay 1.5 na. I won't disturb you. Di ba? So ang gawin niyo dapat mabuksan ko. Gumamit ng Word or PDF. Okay, basta mabuksan ko ha. Yes, you can use PDF or Word. Huwag din yung adding files na hindi ko mabubuksan normally ha. Kasi magbibigay si Lord sa akin ng Google Link Drive na kasama yung Excel at saka folders ng lahat ng estudyante before the final week, di ba? Para mag-grade ko, mabasa ko at ma-encode. Ganun lang yun. Ganun kabilis. Alam nyo, kung maganda yung paper nyo, kasi meron ng rubrics binigay ko sa inyo eh. 6:30-10 eh. You yourself will know already your paper is good or very good or excellent. Ako naman, I will not use my scholarly standard, of course. I will adjust to your standard, di ba? Kasi pag ako, ang standard ng mga scholar, very strict yun. May citation, ganyan. Di ba? Logical, brevity, lahat yung lahat ng academic writing, which is the strictest form of writing is academic writing used in scholarly or scientific papers. You will learn that, no? It's not that easy. You will learn that by experience. You don't learn it in graduate school. You learn it through experience. No? Series of rejections, mga peer reviews, rejected paper mo ilang beses hanggang matuto ka. That's where I started submitting papers to journals. Daming rejection hanggang I learned the tools of the trade, how to do it, and then minimize rejection of my submission, books, etc., journal articles. You learn it by experience, okay? So I will not apply that to you. Basta makita ko lang yun, uy, galing ng bata. Ito si Maria Teresa, tingnan mo kanyang synthesis paper. Nabanggit ko nga ito sa first lecture. Uy, second lecture, wow, galing. Wala na, hindi ko nababasahin nga lahat yun pag nakita ko eh. 1.0 na agad. Kasi 60% integration, di ba? Oo, mahalaga sa akin yan. Ibig sabihin, nag-take down notes ka, nakinig ka, di ba? Oo, mahalaga yun. Ma-impress na agad ako pag simula pa lang ng mga paragraphs na maganda na, wala na. Oo. Di ba? Clear? Maria Teresa, any other questions from the group about the requirements? Let's take our course like, di ba, peripatetic teachers, walk together, journey together, di ba? Let's be open. Let's not be rigid, even with the way we discuss the topic, whatever that strikes us. Okay, but pero sinusundan natin yung mga contemporary issues lahat yan, ha? O, yung tinuturo ko sa inyo. Hindi pa nga sa syllabus yan eh. Yung syllabus ng CHED luma na eh. Luma na, matagal na yung mga readings. 10 years, 15 years ago na eh. Ngayon, nag-evolve. Knowledge is evolving very fast. Oo. That's why I write books that are contemporary issues. LGBTQ. Ayan, very hot issue yan. In the Catholic Church, rejecting of all these gender diverse Catholics in the church. Imagine you are excluded by your church. Meron pa nga isang kami na interview. I don't know kung member kayo ng INC. Nabubuli by the elders. Religious bullying. Ha? Hindi lang naman sa kanila. Even the Catholics yun, binubuli. Diba? Oo, binubuli. And yet they are created in the image and likeness of God. Pero binubuli. Diba? Nawawa naman. Ano ang tawag niya sa sociology? Yung ikaw na nga biktima, ikaw pang binubuli. Ang tawag niyan, blaming the victim. Blaming the victim phenomenon. You are the victim, you're blamed for your weaknesses and frailty. Ikaw kasi, kaya ka na-rape, ganyan kasi ang suot mo. Yung nangyari dun sa babae sa UP, Los Baños, sabi ng isang columnist na machismo, na-rape kasi siya kasi nung panahon ng bago siya na-rape, naka-short. Di ba? Can you recall that? Si Eileen Sarmiento. O, nung panahon daw, nung gabing yun, na nire-rape siya ni Mayor Sanchez na Kalawan, Laguna, di ba? Nakasuot daw ng short, sexy. Gustong-gusto ni Mayor Sanchez yun. Nakita siya sa UP Los Baños Nung pumunta si Mayor Sanchez, nakita si Eileen na siyempre, Miss UP yata, Los Baños ba yun? Tapos pinag-initan na pala niya yun. Pinaplano na niya, i-rapin. Nung panahon na gabing yun, na kasama yung boyfriend niya, naka-short daw, sabi na isang columnist. Kaya nga siya na-rape daw dahil sa suot niya. Ano kinalaman sa suot na, di ba? Kung ano yung suot mo, bakit pa i-rapin mo yung babae? Blaming the victim. Yan ang problema dyan. You're blamed for of things that are not of your fault. Ayan. Ganun nangyari sa LGBT. Biniblame mo sa kanilang pagka-transgender na hindi naman nila kagagawan yun. They learn it in society from the environment. You blame them twice. Okay? 2 minutes na lang. So let's have a 5-minute break and then we'll proceed next hanggang ano oras pa? Wala pa, meron pa isang session. Okay? So let's have a 10-minute break. Okay? Lord, 10-minute break muna ha. Tapos we'll have our last up to 7:30. Okay? Sige, let us leave for now. We have 10-minute break. Bye-bye. Another link ha. Bye-bye.